This is a very long piece of pipe work. Okay, food enters your mouth, down the esophagus, and into your stomach. Over here, you have your digestive enzymes breaking this food down, and over time, it's going to push all this food into the small intestine. This is kind of like a blender. Over here, this is nutrient absorption, the 4.5 meters or roughly 15 feet. And over here, food will enter your large intestines for feces formations. This is the ascending portion, transverse, and finally the descending portion of the colon. Everyone's the same categorically. This is another diagram to take a quick look at. Simplify it a lot more because when you're looking at this picture, there's so many other components, such as your pancreas, such as your liver, gallbladder. Very, very confusing. But over here, this will help simplify your digestive tract as it's a very long piece of pipework. Food enters your mouth, down the esophagus, into your stomach. Over here, digestive enzymes start to break down the food. The food enters your small intestines next, the 4.5 meters, followed by the large intestine, another 1.5 meters in length, and out the back for waste elimination. So altogether, you have about 6 meters of pipework or 20 feet. Now, I always relate this back to basketball. I think it's a lot easier to understand just what is our digestive system looking at basketball. Looking at this someone possibly at a dunk contest. Over here, from the floor to the basketball rim is 10 feet off the floor, okay, or roughly 3 meters. The combined length, if you gotta stack another NBA hoop on top of one another, so you have two of them. So over here, you're looking at one, and you're gonna stack another one on top of that. That combined height is the length of your small and large intestines combined. And through years of eating, you got a lot of trash that is clogged up, not just in the large intestine, but also in the small intestine. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do our best to get the waste material out of the body. That's what we're here to do. Now, most of y'all, just like I was sitting on the toilet, I was busting out veins on the side of my temples, huffing and puffing, begging and pleading. You start to make deals with the Almighty because you can't make anything happen for yourself. And after all that work, what do you get? You get a small little pebble. And I think a lot of you can relate to that. Now, what I'm about to share with you today is not professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. So you need to do your own research. On top of your own research, work with your doctors, naturopathic doctors, integrated medicine. I don't care what you need to do to really educate yourself, not just what the digestive system is. And you have to see that if I don't resolve this early, okay, it's going to get so bad because when your elimination is not complete, residues of old feces, they're building up in layers on the walls of the colon. As they putrefy, they can cause health problems, pain, and discomfort. Most of you, you're on this picture on the left. This is the colon. It's compacted with fecal matter, and on the outside layer, it could be hardened already. Is that problematic? So when you're going to the bathroom, there's only the midsection that has a little bit of movement, is squeezing out some of that waste material. You need to fully go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right to really resolve your chronic constipation. Throughout this presentation, you can also ask me different questions. It's very helpful for you guys. One of the benefits of you being on this call is that, you can ask me different questions to help you understand what's happening to your body. Maybe some of you tried my protocol before and you want to go to the next level in your detox because there's so much more. I'm just gonna check real quick on my different social medias, making sure they're actually broadcasting just fine over here. I'm on different platforms, and I'll check back every now and then to make sure they're running fine. But we have a live chat. The benefit of this live chat, you can type in your questions. I may not get to it right away, but it's going to help you, kind of follow through. And if I don't answer right away, just watch my videos later because everything is getting recorded. Okay, so you guys can always follow up later on these videos. Today I'm going to share with you a very simple protocol that I've done over 5 years. I no longer have chronic constipation. It's a thing of the past. Okay, how did I resolve it? The OTC laxatives did not work. Okay, the different things that the doctors told me to do, even probiotics, they were not working. This is the only thing that worked. So shout out to Josh Mason. Now my protocol, my proportions, and the way how I drink it is a little bit different. There are many self-flush protocols you can find online, but it doesn't mean it's going to be the right one for you. And my protocol may not be the right one for you. So you're going to have to continue to go on your search. Maybe you got to mix and match these a lot differently. But all I'm saying is, I've done this hundreds of times, works every time. If I were to mix it in the right proportions and drink it in a specific manner, I've also coached my own family members how to do this. In addition, I have coached hundreds of people all over the world, not just in the English language, but also in Chinese. I've taught hundreds of people here in Taiwan how to do this. Now, what we're going to do, you're going to get these set of ingredients from the grocery store. You want to get yourself apple cider vinegar without any sugar added. Next, you're going to add citrus fruits. It can be limes, lemons, or grapefruits. I highly recommend using grapefruit. They're very, very tasty. They have a little bit of sweetness to them. So it's not going to be too sour if you were to use limes or lemons. Over here, this is pink salt. You can use pink salt as long, doesn't have a whole bunch of chemicals in it. Sometimes they add different chemicals in them that makes it pour easy so they won't clump up. Now, I always just find, really good pink salt. Maybe you can get them at Costco, perfectly fine. Now, if you do not want to use pink salt, you're worried about the sodium content, I recommend you use magnesium sulfate. Okay, there's a lot of products out there, magnesium citrate. I haven't used those. I'm just saying the one that I recommend is actually this one. Okay, now there are a lot of magnesium sulfates out there, or Epsom salt. But the Epsom salt out there, most of it is for soaking, it's for relaxation, it's not for consumption. You have to get food grade, pure magnesium sulfate. Now this is one option you can look for. And also get yourself a stainless steel straw, okay? Because the taste of this product, many of you may not be used to it right away. So it'll be very helpful for you to get yourself a stainless steel straw. This is something that you drink down, okay? So over at the grocery store, you can screenshot this next screenshot. This is where I want you to get at the grocery store. Okay. So you're going to get a bottled water, plastic bottled water. It's about 2 liters in volume. Then you have a metal mesh screener or strainer, a single press squeezer to squeeze out limes, lemons, or grapefruit. You got to get some accurate measuring cups. You want to make sure they say the amount of milliliters on them so you can measure out these proportions accurately. This is the apple cider vinegar. This is the pink salt I got from Costco. Over here, you got to get yourself a stainless steel thermos. Okay? You don't want to mix everything in any item that could break, such as glass or ceramic. Over here, this is this coffee prepared also in a stainless steel cup. Make sure everything goes inside the stainless steel products, okay? So these are the items, and now I'm going to teach you how to mix all these things in the salt flush solution in the stainless steel thermos. Over here, the black coffee is prepared separately, and it's completely optional. If you don't drink black coffee, that's perfectly fine. What we're going to do, there's going to be a little bit of fasting period, so just prepare yourself the night before you're finishing dinner around 7:30 p.m. The next morning, when you wake up, so after dinner, you can still drink liquids, but you cannot eat any late night snacks. Very important. I need to keep your stomach just rested without any food. The next morning, the same thing. You're waking up in the morning, you can still have liquids, but you cannot eat any breakfast. Do not eat anything. And at 11 a.m. on an empty stomach, I want you to make this in the stainless steel thermos. You're going to add 1 tablespoon and 2 teaspoons of pink salt or food grade Epsom salt. Okay, you're going to add that in the stainless steel thermos. That's 25 milliliters total. Next, you're going to cut and squeeze 3 lemons or limes or 1 grapefruit, and you want to filter it through the metal mesh screener or strainer. You want to make sure there's no pulp or any seeds. That's going to go in the sulfur solution so it can go down as smooth as possible. Next, same thing with the apple cider vinegar. You're going to measure out a 1/4 cup, which is 60 milliliters, and you're going to put it in the stainless steel thermos. Now, if you're working with apple cider vinegar, sometimes they have sediments on the bottom. I want you to also filter it through the metal mesh strainer, okay, some type of strainer that you use. You're going to add 2.5 cups of hot water, and you're going to stir it up, which is about 600 ml of hot water. You're going to stir it up. You may stir it up for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. I want you to make sure that pink salt or that food grade Epsom salt dissolves evenly in the stainless steel thermos. Okay. Then you're going to add another cup of room temperature water and bring back down the temperature and continue to stir. Okay, that's basically the sulfur solution. I know it sounds way too simple. Sometimes we have all these different things that we look to and they're very complicated. You might see different specialists now and then they're telling you this and that, all these different lab tests still can't get you cleared out. Well, I really pray you find this video and this is the right one that's going to help you get everything resolved. Now, when it comes to detox, this is not a one-time thing that you do. Over years of eating, you have so much waste material trapped inside both the small and large intestines. It's unbelievable. I still do this protocol once a week. You got to clean yourself on the inside once a week. And some of you may do it once every 2 weeks, but you have to find your own rhythm. If you brush your teeth every single day, and if you shower regularly, you have to find something that's going to clean yourself on the inside through and through. What are we trying to clean out? Clean out this pipework from beginning to end by drinking down the sulfur solution slowly. And I'll show you the directions how to drink it. It's very, very specific. Now, through years of eating, this is where your small intestines begins. And so much waste material, microplastics, your Bojangles, okay, your Burger King, your Taco Bell, your McDonald's, your Cracker Barrel, your Costco samples that you've been eating, okay, all the Texas barbecue, I don't know where you live. People be eating a lot of weird stuff, okay? And all that remnants of it is still somewhere trapped inside your system. We need to flush them out comprehensively, and it's going to take a lot longer than you think. It's going to take a lot more frequency than you think. And it's going to be a continued process. On your table, there should be only 3 items. You have the bottled water, you have the sulfur solution in a stainless steel thermos, and you have black coffee also prepared in a stainless steel thermos. The reason why I teach you guys to use any items that you cannot break, because it's going to create such a laxative effect. You may be running to the bathroom, knocking things over. If you knock things over, such as glass, now you have the floor completely wet and you have all this glass you have to clean up later. You might even slip and fall on top of this glass. You slip and fall on top of this glass, but you're still shitting out of your behind. And you're going to get all cut up with all this glass on your body. You show up at the ER. They can't even figure out what you're doing because you're so shitting yourself and you got all this glass on you. They ask you, what the hell just happened? And you tell them, listen, I was just watching this YouTube guy. Listen, please don't mention my name. I already told y'all. This is the reason why I tell you guys, do not use anything glass. Not because even if you don't knock things over, when you're pouring hot items into glass, you may experience thermal shock. The glass could shatter depending on the quality of the glass. This is how you're going to drink it. You're going to take a tiny sip of this water, tiny sip. Hold it in your mouth. You're going to take a bigger gulp of the sulfur solution, drink it down. You're going to take a tiny sip of this black coffee to reward yourself. Okay? I'm going to cycle this through. 1, 2, 3. Step 1, tiny sip of this water, hold it in your mouth. 2, take a bigger gulp of the selfless solution, drink it down, and take a tiny sip of this water to reward yourself. If you don't like the taste, use the stainless steel straw. But our goal is to finish the selfless solution first. You're not trying to finish both the water and the selfless solution at the same time. That is wrong. This has a certain viscosity to it. If you drink this and this together, your stomach's going to be way bloated. That's 3 liters. If you put down this water, it's going to dilute down the selfless solution. So I can't have the selfless solution diluted. There needs to be a certain mixture ratio. That ratio is very important. Now you can take 45 minutes, 1 hour, an hour and a half to drink this. This is not a race. Another thing that people watch online is like, oh, the selfless solution, I need to drink it very, very fast. No, I don't recommend it because you're trying to clean out this pipework. And when you first start drinking it, your stomach doesn't even know what it is. And the pyloric sphincter, you got to get into that very relaxed state. Listen to some classical music in advance, some deep breathing exercises that's going to let this selfless solution to bypass through the pyloric sphincter. Now, if you feel like the selfless solution is somewhere in your esophagus, you have that throw up feel, any slight hint of that feel, to set everything aside, do not drink anything, and just relax until those feelings subside. Until those feelings subside, then do not drink it. The reason why I put it into a self-flush in a stainless steel thermos because there's got to be some temperature to it. You don't want to drink anything cool. Hot expands, cold contracts. Right now, we're trying to expand our pipes a little bit, and that's going to make it easier to clean out this pipework. Just like in the wintertime, okay, if you're trying to wash your dishes with cold water, you're going to have a very tough time cleaning those dishes. That's why you got to use warm water or hot water, kind of get all that grease going, so you can completely clean out those dishes properly. Now over here we have a big project, the project to clean out the small and large intestines combined. So once again, you can take 45 minutes, an hour and a half. But if this self-flush solution cools down for whatever reason, you can always heat it back up. Nothing wrong heating it back up. So you continue to drink it. As we're approaching fourth quarter, depending on where you live, certain places are going to be colder than other places. So that's the reason why I tell you guys to prepare a hot self-flush solution. You may want to let it cool down just a little bit so it doesn't burn your tongue. But if it's not doing that, you can put it down, then put it down. Okay? Just like if you like to drink hot coffee, that kind of temperature, the coffee is not going to be burning your tongue, right? But it's going to be at a temperature that's going to have you feel a little bit of relaxation, that warming feel. That's what we're looking for. Now I'm going to share with you guys some poop milestones. You're going to drink this down. Now you can do some light stretchings. Sometimes I take my mind off of this whole thing by watching some YouTube videos, maybe some comedy, kind of just help my body relax. The more relaxed you are, the better. Because this self-flush solution has to travel through this 4.5 meters. It's a long piece of pipework. And the surface area of this pipework is big as a football field. Okay? That's another reason why you can't just do the self-flush solution protocol just one time. You have to do it finding your own rhythm. It's my 5th year into this. Over half a decade, I'm still doing this once a week. Okay? Just to clean myself on the inside. I feel great. My body rebuilds itself. And over here, there's going to be a poop milestone. Let me get some coffee real quick. All right. So after a while, everyone's a little bit different. You're going to have that unction to use the bathroom, so you just go. You are never forcing anything on the toilet. If you sit down and then you're just farting and there's nothing there, it's okay. You can get back up again, walk around, and just relax. Deep, breathe deeply into your stomach when your stomach has that up and down feel. At the beginning, I started doing that as I was listening to a lot of Rachmaninoff, Piano Concerto 2, Movement 2, that can help me get into a very relaxed state. Now, when you're beginning, you're going to go from solids, okay? These solids are going to be, for some of you, it's going to be very different. Some of you may have very, very dark, like pitch dark colored solids. I'm talking, it's coming out like charcoal, like the color of my t-shirt. There's so much trash been accumulated inside this colon. So that stuff is coming out. And over time, it's going to transition over to soft poop. Okay? Then it's going to transition into really, really soft poop. You just let that all fall out, let that all fall out. And it's different for everybody. Some people, after they drink it, they have to wait another 45 minutes, maybe an hour before all this laxative stuff comes out. Now, when this transitions from really soft poop to torn brown water, I want you to take this bottle of water with you to the bathroom and continue drinking this water bottle to add more water pressure to the top of your digestive tract so that it can continue to flush out all the debris from both the small and large intestines. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what we finna do. This is how it works. So over time, you're gonna experience something called a diarrhea tsunami. There's just gonna be things blasting out of your behind. The water that you just drank, it's gonna be inside the toilet. Today, by doing this protocol, you eliminated the waste material trapped inside the small and large intestines. The salt flush solution that you should prepare earlier, it's also in the toilet. And now you're just adding this water. Adding this water from the top of the system, it's going to rush through. Once this thing is blasting from the behind and you're drinking this water, it just goes through your system so fast because there's nothing there. There's no obstructions in the small and large intestines. It just rushes right through. And you're going to notice this torn brown water coming out of you. The color is going to become lighter and lighter and lighter. And that's what we're looking for. You need to have that. It's very important for you to experience that at some point to get the waste material out. When you're on the toilet, I also highly recommend you guys get some type of a stool. When you're on the stool, okay, it's going to give you a squatting position, which will also help getting this waste material to exit. If you visit many other parts of the world, this could be in India, it could be in Asia, right? It could be in the Middle East, many places. I'm sure in very remote places in Bulgaria, in Ukraine, okay, those places still have squat toilets installed. I want you guys to also experiment by lifting up this toilet seat because the toilet seat is going to squeeze against your butt cheeks. Squeezing against your butt cheeks is going to squeeze right around that anus. No wonder you're going to have a tough time getting the waste material out of your body. Okay, so after you continue to flush this out, once you finish the bottled water, then you're going to notice that, okay, the water is going to come out less and less and less. And you don't know what to expect initially. So when you're doing this protocol, do not make any plans with your friends. Don't tell them that you're going to meet up with the coffee shop later. Don't do any of that. Just relax and find out your rhythm. And even the water bottle that you drink, this whole 2 liter, is going to end up in the toilet. You can rest if your body tells you to rest. And once it's settled in, I want you to eat some probiotics to replenish the small and large intestine probiotics, to recoat it back up. And I also want you to get some coconut water, okay? Get some coconut water. If you have watermelons, that's also another really good fruit to use because oftentimes when we do this protocol, you're also flushing out electrolytes from your body. So you got to make your own electrolyte. I want you guys to get coconut water. So I'm going to create another slide later so you guys what to do. This is important to replenish back your electrolytes. And I think some of the safest ways that you can do it is just using coconut water, and you can even add a little bit of pink salt. Okay, it doesn't have to be this brand. Sometimes places that you go, they sell organic, they sell coconut water, fresh coconut water, like in the streets. Like I live here in Taiwan, they do that here. But you want to replenish your electrolytes, and you can also fruits, vegetables, things that are soft, because you don't want to rush into eating right away. You want to begin with something soft. So probiotics, then you're going to do coconut water, watermelons. I think eating watermelons would be a great beginner to restart back up your digestive tract. And over time, you can do congee, oatmeal. Don't rush back into eating all that trash food you've been eating. Okay? Because oftentimes, people, they do this protocol, but they haven't changed their nutrition. Let me tell you what, that's a mistake. You just clean up your small and large intestines, and now you're replenishing back your system with a bunch of trash foods. Of course you're going to feel awful. You don't even need to have a medical degree to tell you that. What are you doing to your body, right? Through years of negligence, oftentimes we're dehydrated, we don't take care of our body, we don't drink enough water, and that's what made us go into these situations, seasons of chronic constipation. And I want you guys to really watch this video in detail. Maybe you have to watch it multiple times to get all these ingredients in order. Okay, get all the ingredients in order. Make it in this specific set of directions. Maybe you don't have a stainless steel thermos, so invest in yourself. Get yourself a stainless steel thermos. And the volume of the stainless steel thermos is over 1 liter or over a quart. Okay, and of course, take note of different probiotics. I don't know which ones you use. You want to find ones that are compatible with you. You know that it's very, very good for your body. It doesn't give you any bloating or gas. Now, I don't use any of these. The one that I use is very, very inexpensive, but that's the one that works for me. Like people, they gave me so many different probiotics, very expensive probiotics. I don't find them to be very helpful for me. But some of you, maybe you find Thorn to be great, or Mary Ruth's, these different raw probiotics. Find something, because you do need probiotics in your system. You have to recoat back up the microbiome. Now, in addition, I also want you guys to focus on electrolytes. Now, there are many different powders that are out there on the market where they say, oh, you just buy this powder, add it to water. I don't know anything about those, so I can't say about that. But you can just drink coconut water, watermelon, replenish your electrolytes, and then get it into some type of soft eating. You can eat papaya, you can eat oatmeal, you can eat congee. Instead of just rushing out, eating a whole bunch of trash food, you may have to go through your house right now with a heavy-duty trash bag and throw out all the junk that should not even be there in the first place. People, they are loading themselves with a bunch of garbage, okay, all day, every day, and thinking that, oh, I gotta just take a laxative to get myself back right. No, that's not gonna do it. Where people come and do my protocol and they say they can go back to their trash eating, not gonna happen. You're gonna go back, you're gonna redo your nutrition plan, okay? Now, I'm just gonna spin through my social media before I talk about the next section. See if you guys have any questions. Ask your questions. Okay. So how long have I been on? Okay, sometimes okay, got half an hour. The next section, I'm going to give you guys a lot of practical pessimism or liability concerns. because a lot of you don't know what those are, okay? There are many people in the world with chronic constipation. If you're watching this video, oftentimes you think that your problem is so unique. You think that you're so special. Let me tell you, you're not special. There are millions and millions of people around the world chronic constipation. Hundreds of millions, okay? Over here, this is search volume for constipation over time. So when people are looking for solutions online, they go to a search engine, Google, Bing, Yahoo, I don't know, and they start to key in, I have this problem, how to solve it. Constipation, this keyword volume, it is undefeated. Doesn't matter if there's a recession, doesn't matter if the stock market tanks, the crypto tanks, real estate tanks. The number of people keying in constipation only goes up. Many people have this misconception, oh, we're a very modern society now. Surely they have this completely on lock. Should be fixed already. I mean, we have all this technology. We have electric cars. We have whatever, and we can't fix chronic constipation. Listen, people are not fixing this at the root, and there are things that are beyond their current scope of awareness. It's off their radar screen, and I'm going to share a lot of those with you. Number one, I'm going to talk about what is toxic megacolon. As we're looking here, this is your colon right here. When people do not deal with chronic constipation early enough, they may end up with a toxic megacolon. Now, this stuff is life-threatening complication, inflammatory bowel diseases, can cause pain and permanent damage to large and small intestines. Now, IBDs, they could be ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, infections caused by this other colitis. Toxic megacolon is characterized by swelling and dilation of large intestine due to the inflammation and accumulation of large amount of gas. So I'm reading these different things online. Doesn't mean I agree with everything that they write, because this is definitely a lot more than just gas. This is all the food they've eaten all over the years, and they cannot exit out the back, okay? Now, if they remove your large intestine, what do? Or they remove a diseased portion of your colon, what do? Well, they have a lot of plug and play in the medical industrial complex. Over here, you can see that they start to reconnect. This is called a left hemicolectomy. They remove the descending portion of the colon. Over here, they get the remaining sections joined. Over here, the very end portion of the descending part is diseased. So the doctors, they remove it. You may wonder, well, what do they do next to get the poop to exit? Over here, they're going to install a stoma bag, a colostomy bag. They create a hole called a stoma in the abdominal wall to allow the waste to leave the body. You're going to have to manage this waste material, this bag, for the rest of your life if you don't fix chronic constipation. Over here, let's just say the ascending portion is messed up. They remove this portion. Well, this part is connected to the small intestine. This is your appendix. They're going to reconnect the remaining part, the small intestine, to what's left of your colon. This is called a right hemicolectomy. In cases where they remove the colon completely, they may do a procedure called ileoanal anastomosis. They're going to use the remaining portion of your small intestine, create a pouch around the anus so your waste material can fall out of your anus. This allows you to expel waste normally, although you'll likely have several watery bowel movements daily. These are the liabilities concerns, the practical pessimisms that most people don't know until it's too late, because they ignore the early signs of chronic constipation. Over here, the colon is completely displaced. A healthy colon has a shape: ascending, transverse, descending. Over here, this is completely displaced or distorted. It goes up, loops back down again, then it loops back up again. Now her colon is up in her chest area, very likely pushing up against her lungs, so she may have problem breathing. Then it finally makes its way back down for elimination. When she's standing up, all that waste material trapped here has to fight against gravity just to get up to this point in her colon before making its way back down. Over here, you may experience diverticulitis, Okay, now, these are different pouches or diverticula start to form the GI tract, becoming inflamed and infected. Now, when you go to the doctors, they may say, oh, because you're not eating enough fiber, you're not eating enough fiber, putting extra pressure on the colon walls. Now, over here, they have a lot of different conditions or even symptoms, very similar to other bowel diseases, right? So you have a combination of nausea, vomiting, chills, cramps in lower abdomen, constipation, diarrhea, rectal bleeding. Over here, ulcerative colitis, inflammation in the colon. You may have symptom flare-ups in the forms of diarrhea, bloody stools, abdominal cramping, and weight loss. Doctors will usually prescribe a lot of corticosteroids or immunosuppressants, biologics. What it does, it suppresses your immune system. Your immune system is in overdrive right now, trying to tell you something is wrong here. But you suppress all those symptoms. So temporarily, you're not seeing the symptom flare-ups. You have to ask yourself, are you really resolving the root of the problem? Crohn's disease, another form IBD. Now, this is inflammation not just in the large intestine, but also in the small intestine. Now, most people, they say this is caused due to genes, problem in the immune system. But the symptoms are, once again, diarrhea, stomach aches or cramps, blood in the stools. So whether you're looking at Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, these different diseases, their symptoms are so similar to one another. Okay. Over here, many people, they are sitting on the toilet for extended period of time. And as a result, they're trying to put a lot of pressure on their behind. And they may experience something called rectal prolapse. Very, very uncomfortable. Okay, very, very smelly. A lot of old people have this. That's why they have to wear adult diapers all the time. If it gets very severe, you may get infections, which may cause anal abscesses and fistulas. For many people, they're dealing with anal fissures. A fissure is simply a crack, a breakage, or splitting. Could be very painful. Now, when you go to the doctor, you ask them what is the root cause. Okay, they always give you some type of verbiage that says, while several factors are thought to be linked to rectal prolapse, there's no clear-cut cause. An estimated 30% to 67% of patients have chronic constipation, infrequent stools, or severe straining, and an additional 50% of diarrhea. In the past, this condition was soon to be linked to giving birth multiple times of vaginal delivery. However, as many as 35% of patients with rectal prolapse never gave birth, and it can occur in men. There might be some genetic predisposition to this condition. In other words, some patients are more prone, based on their genes, to develop this condition, while others don't. I just don't agree with everything that I read online. They told you 30% to 67% of patients have chronic constipation. Don't you think that's a pretty clear-cut cause? Or dealing with hemorrhoids, like I said earlier, there was a time in my life, super embarrassing. I'm going to the CVS. I could see it right now. It was in Southern California, in San Diego, and I was picking up the preparation H, okay? And it's just embarrassing. You have to go to the counter, and they check you out, right? And man, the problem is that when you're just using a cream to help you kind of go through this period, you haven't really solved the root of the problem. These hemorrhoids or piles, these are swollen veins inside your rectum or outside of your anus. Very painful, could be very itchy, so you have no focus when you're at work, okay? Or you may experience some rectal bleeding because you're trying to scratch it the whole time, and it's not going away. Now, if you're not resolving the problem upstream, which is chronic constipation, because when you're dealing with these issues, I don't care if it's hemorrhoids, you're dealing with anal fissures, okay, rectal prolapse, they may refer you to a proctologist. They may refer you to a bottom whisperer. And what do these guys do? These are specialized medical doctors called colorectal surgeons. They focus primarily on the rectum and anus, this portion right here, the very end of your digestive tract. They're going to examine you. They got their latex gloves ready, you understand? I don't even know how many latex gloves. They make a lot of money. Let me just tell you that. I think 300,000 to 500,000 easy every year, because it's such a specialized field, and with increased chronic constipation all over the world, people are looking for solutions. But are they really dealing with the root of the problem, right? So they say, okay, we come in here, we're going to do a surgery, we're going to patch up your anal fissure, we're going to clear up your hemorrhoids. Maybe you got some rectal prolapse, we're going to tuck it back in some way, somehow. But if you're still dealing with chronic constipation, don't you think you're going to develop new anal fissures? You're going to have new rectal prolapse or hemorrhoids? And you're going to come back and see this too again and again and again. So these are the liabilities concerns I want you guys to have in the back of your mind. Now, you don't have to use my protocol if you don't want to. It's not the end all be all, right? And there might be some piece of this puzzle, because you have to unlock your own puzzle. I'm just saying, I was able to use this protocol and help hundreds and hundreds of people all around the world. You may want to look into this some more. So I'm going to go through my social media real quick. Any questions, just ask me. Yeah, welcome. I see somebody on my YouTube. Appreciate you. Ask your questions, if any questions. We're going to continue on. So over here. There are entire Facebook pages online where people are sharing their constipation woes. I'm just going to share a few of them with you. And these are pretty extreme. So somebody says, I'm so tired of this. Morning I was driving, all of a sudden hits me. I didn't make it to the bathroom, all over my shorts and car seat. I'm so incredibly exhausted from this. To the point where in adult diapers, there was a lot of mucus. This is normal. So people, they can't resolve their chronic constipation, so they be taking a lot of laxatives, right? And sometimes they have no control over their bowel movements. Now, some people, they do not poop for an extended period of time. Somebody asks, what's the longest you've gone without poop? Somebody says 4 weeks was hell. I was throwing up feces on block my cells suppositories eventually. Has anyone vomited fecal matter because it could go down? What is you need to do about it? Please go to the ER. This is dangerous. So this is an example of feculent vomiting. So the feces, they're not going down, right? Over here, they might be dealing with the megacolon. Trash is locked up in here. But as you know, the digestive tract is just a very long piece of pipework. If it cannot exit out through here, it may work its way back through your small intestines, back into your stomach, and you're going to experience reverse peristalsis and throw up your own feces. That's how serious this problem is if you don't resolve it early. That's why I throw a lot of liabilities concerns with you guys. Over here, I'm impacted. All home remedies, OTC laxatives, enemas, dietary changes, additions, nutritional oils, quit working last month all of a sudden. The ER couldn't reach it. Then their enemas didn't work. The highest dosage of lenses does nothing, and the Miralax colonoscopy prep is giving me overflow diarrhea. Small bits are coming off the impaction, probably from the hospital enemas I got Saturday. What else can I do? I feel like the impaction is just way too big to get out, and it seems like nothing is softening it enough. Over here. Hello, I've been struggling with severe chronic constipation for a couple years now, and it's only gotten worse over the past 6 months or so. I've been prescribed Trulance and Linzess, highest dosage for both, and neither of those medications are working very well for me at this point. I can pass a little bit of stool, but not so much. But not much so I'm constantly extremely backed up. I have to spend about half my waking hours lying down because I'm so bloated and nauseous and often in pain. As far as OTC laxatives, nothing really works there either. Ducalax, enema, suppositories, magnesium citrate, nothing works. I was supposed to have a colonoscopy today, but couldn't keep the bowel prep down. The procedure had been rescheduled for a month from now, One of the nurses at my GI office prescribed a pill-based cleanse. The pill is called Sutab, and I was warned ahead of time that patients often have trouble completely emptying their bowels with this pill. So given my struggles, I'm doubtful that this will actually work for me. Here is my question. Has anyone here gone to the point where nothing works? Meds or OTC laxatives and had to have sort of in-office medical procedure done? I'm so sick and so miserable. What about professional colonics? I'm not even sure how those work. If anyone has any advice or experience with this, I'd be very grateful. Share with me what you ended up doing and what the outcome was like. Thank you. So this is another procedure I want you guys to take note of. I haven't done this colon hydrotherapy. So for somebody in her situation who was asking about colon hydrotherapy, this is what it is. You're going to lay down here on this apparatus, and colon hydrotherapists, they're going to put hot water through your back end. This is going to help clean out the large intestine, okay? Because many of you, you have encrusted fecal matter stuck in the colon right now, and this is not resolved. You're going to get so backed up and backed up and backed up, maybe end up with a megacolon, maybe end up with fecal and vomiting. So work with your colon hydrotherapist. You want to explain to them your situation, telling them what is your bowel movements like, how is it coming out, how frequent is it, what is your nutrition like. All these things are important because you don't want this person to put in the water pressure too quick, right? They can control this water pressure, and if it goes in too quick and you are not prepared, right, then you may get perforations in the colon, and now your poop is going outside of your colon, and you may go into sepsis shock and end up in the ER at the hospital. I'm not joking. There is a risk to everything that you do. Doesn't matter if you're doing a colon hydrotherapy, and for that person, they may have to go to the colon hydrotherapy every single day for a whole week just to get that stuff unblocked. Colon hydrotherapy only cleans out the colon. It cannot reach your small intestine. That's another thing most people don't know. After they clean out the colon, then they can deal with the small intestine, possibly with the salt flush protocol, right? So get the small intestines completely cleared out as well. Doing the probiotics, eating healthy, doing electrolytes, coconut water, watermelons, different fruits, build your electrolytes back up. This is so very important. Over here, this person is at dire straits. She's tried all these different things, so you can tell this person already went down different specialists. She's already tried the prescription strength medications. They're not working. They stop working. Now, what is blocking this pipe work? Now, a lot of people don't know this. I'm going to take a short break. Take a sip of water. And YouTube, I see you. If you have any questions on YouTube, just ask your question. Now, most people, they overlook internal parasites. They think that is only a third world problem. So they ignore it completely. They think that this could never happen in the US. Well, Whole Foods, people can see worms in their Whole Food salmon. Or if they go to Costco, okay, in their Costco salmon. A lot of people, they're eating raw fish, undercooked meats. There's a lot of risk. You guys just need to look around. United States, there's a U.S. National Parasite Collection. Study these. There are over 100,000 cataloged lots, okay? There's so many specimens. They are everywhere. In Japan, they have another parasite museum. It's got 60,000 specimens and about 100 different species of parasites that can harm you. I'm going to go through some major ones. We have the liver fluke, the pinworms, tapeworms, and roundworms. Very, very problematic. Over here, this is the liver fluke. They hatch in water and they begin targeting an intermediary host. They work their way up the food chain. Over here, inside this host, they grow to a certain size. Then after they grow to a certain size, they exit, end up on some vegetation. Well, this cow or the sheep, they come over, eat this vegetation. That's how they get into their body. Ask anybody in ranching, their cattle and their sheep have to deal with this year over year. They get sick, they lose hair, they become lethargic because these parasites are basically destroying their life. Now, when you're eating undercooked meats, or if you get into that hole, oh, I'm going to eat a lot of raw liver, right? Some people are doing that. And there's a lot of liver fluke in raw liver, and they're going to attack your liver too, because the liver is the storage of vitamins and minerals. And parasites, they know that too. That's why they like to target your liver. Different parasites, they can end up in rare steaks and also completely raw foods, steak tartars, Korean barbecues, a lot of intestine products. People eat chitlin and collard greens. Okay, we also eat a lot of intestine products in Asia. I don't eat them anymore, but I used to. Definitely a lot of sushi, sashimi. 20 years ago, sushi, sashimi was not that popular in the US. But now you have all this tech boom in San Francisco, Bay Area, a lot of Japanese culture, Pacific Northwest, same thing. Many people, not just Asians, Americans, are eating a lot of sushi. Hot pot, also very popular. Tapeworms are also very common. You can find tapeworms in beef, in pork, and also in fish. Study their life cycles. Do not just take my word for them. You have to know what they look like. This is the rostellum that hooks onto your body, and these are the suckers. Gives them a very strong footing on your intestinal walls. This is their body. Over here, the anatomy is like this. This is the head portion, and this is their reproductive system. They have these things called progonids, and each progonic can produce 100,000 eggs. Somebody in Thailand, they pulled out a tapeworm that was 59 feet. Okay, that's roughly 18 meters. So, just give you perspective, that's about 6 NBA hoops stacked on top of one another. If you have that much waste material stuck in your colon or in your small intestines, of course, the food that you eat is trying to become fecal formation. It's going to have a tough time exiting. Does not matter how much laxatives that you take. Very common in pets. You can see somebody's pulling out a tapeworm out of their cat. A lot of roundworms out of this American bully. And this is an example of a botfly in the cat. Some parasites are very powerful. They can even go through the next generation, through the umbilical cord, or through the mother's milk. Risk areas. If you're very close with your pets, taking Instagram photos like this, you wonder why your kids are showing up all these different signs and symptoms of discomfort. Could be parasites. Look into it. Or if the person, you guys are just eating a lot of raw foods, sashimi, raw vegetation, where you're traveling a lot abroad, drinking contaminated water, well, you're going to get parasites. Parasites showing up in your liver as cysticercosis. They can go outside of your digestive tract, attacking your muscles, or they can even end up in your brain. People experiencing epileptic seizures or headaches, this is called neurocysticercosis. This is the MRI scan. Different places that you go, they eat completely raw blood. Cambodia, Vietnam, I don't recommend them because you're going to end up over here. This is pinworms. Pinworms are very common in children, but also very common in adults as well. According to PubMed, this is affecting over 1 billion people from all socioeconomic classes. Roundworms, also very common in pets, rabbits, ducks. Estimated 800 million to 1.2 billion people worldwide have this. Now, the problem with corticosteroids is that you do have white blood cells. White blood cells, they can take care of these parasites. But if you're taking a lot of corticosteroids, you're basically telling your white blood cells don't go to work. So they're not going to take care of your internal parasites. And in that environment, your parasites continue to thrive and replicate. This example is somebody that had way too many roundworms stuck in their colon, and he had to go for surgery and pull out all these roundworms out of his colon. This is not National Geographic. This is not some animal. This is a human being. So people are wondering why they cannot poop things out, because they have way too many parasites obstructing this pipe work. Okay? So here are some herbs you got to look into and study them up for yourself. Work with your doctor, naturopathic doctor, integrative medicine, or an experienced GI doctor with parasite experience getting rid of them. So you have clove bud, wormwood, methbenzidil, this is OTC, Vermox, black walnut hull and wormwood combination tincture form for your dogs, Panicure C for your cats, frontline dewormer, advocate dewormers. This is more prescription strength, albendazole. Okay, this is not prescription. This is more for heavy metal detox, but also helps get rid of parasites. There are many different products in the market, so you have to study them one by one and find a winning combination for you. And I highly recommend you guys first learn how to clean out the small and large intestines first before diving deep into parasite detox. Because if you're still dealing with chronic constipation, you cannot go from the picture on the left to the picture on the right. You taking a whole bunch of medications or OTC, different herbal blends for parasites, now you have the chronic constipation in addition to the dead parasites still stuck in your colon. That's going to compound into more problems for you. Solve your problems one at a time. Going from the picture on the left to the picture on the right, then you think about taking care of your internal parasites, working with your doctors. But you're still going to come back to some type of protocol where you can flush out all the dead parasites from the small and large intestines, giving you a fresh start. And the soft flush protocol could be that solution for you. Now, who am I? Just another regular guy. My name is John. This is me before I was having this lot of inflammation in the body. Even though I was going to the gym, I was working out almost every single day. I had a personal trainer, workout plan. Was not working. If you're chronically constipated, you're not going to get to the physique that you're looking for because you're completely compacted with fecal matter. This is me pretty much all year round. I have a program here. I'm going to share in the links below. Dad Bod to Summer Bod Transformation Challenge. If you want to lose 3 to 5 pounds per month without going to the gym, this could be a winning program for you. Because I teach you guys how to clean out the small and large intestines combined. I look like this all year round, okay? And I've helped people online, individuals, they watch my free videos online. I did your protocol last night, holy crap. Was not prepared for what came out. You've helped me so much. Purchase a program to support you. Thank you and many blessings to you. This is my friend in Italy. This is my friend in Malaysia. Many people that tried this program had a lot of great success with it. You know, people here in Taiwan, you guys can go translate some of these pictures. They're very, very funny. Some of them sit that. It's like sending rockets out of my behind, okay? And there are many, many different testimonials. A lot of them in written testimonials, few of them, there are also videos. You guys can check them out. But I want you guys to find a protocol for you that's going to work. You can go back to time and time again. Okay. It's important for you guys to learn different protocols online, and you may not use the protocols right away. But maybe later on, you know, you're finding your chronic constipation become more and more severe, and you're like, hey, I need to fix this. And this may be one of the tools that you use to resolve your chronic constipation. Now, this is very interesting. I've been streaming on my Kick. I'm just going to check if there's anything actually coming through. Very interesting stuff. I mean, I have so many things to share with you guys. This is just the beginning, okay? The beginning of your health recovery. It's not about just keep on supplementing your body with different vitamins and minerals. It's about getting the waste material out of the body first, so your body can recover and restore its natural function. Your body cannot restore its natural function when it has this much obstruction in it. Not just the waste material, but also the internal parasites. And I haven't even gone into single cell protozoans. There are so many different parasites. Now we're dealing with full-blown organisms here. The tapeworms, the roundworms, the pinworms, the liver flukes. But there are other parasites that are much, much smaller. And they cause a lot of inflammation in your body as well. And some of you, you may have those parasites. That's why you may have to work with doctors. Now, I just resolve one issue at a time, how I go about it. Prevention is definitely key. For example, after you do the parasite cleanse, like right now, it's very rare I go out and eat raw foods or undercooked things. You guys understand? Because why do I going to eat more parasites in my body? It just doesn't make any sense. Why don't I keep my body clean? Okay, keep my body with healthy probiotics and eat healthy foods. And what does that mean? Foods that you actually recognize as foods. They're not coming out of a box. They're not coming out of a frozen aisle. They're just from food markets. Okay, and you just cook them. It's very, very simple. And there are many recipes online. You can create them in bulk. Create them in bulk so you can just eat them throughout the week. That's basically what I do. Okay? And I want you guys to find your own rhythm, to really look at your body mechanically. You will be lost if you're going to one specialist after the next. And after running all the damn tests, they still can't find what's wrong with you. And a lot of you just don't have enough presence of mind to really look into this. So you guys can look up on YouTube and you can look up Animal Planet. Type in Animal Planet liver flukes. This was such a crazy small little documentary. I highly recommend you guys to look at this. Okay? So for years, she was dealing with all this agonizing pain. There was one time she was explaining she was at the ER. She was at the ER and they ran a whole bunch of tests on her and they still could not find anything wrong with her. Because most people, even doctors, they don't look into parasites. They do not look into parasites. They just don't. I just think that this is such a big money maker for them. Okay? Because if you're always coming back with problems, if you're always coming back with unexplainable issues, they may give you some type of medications to help the symptoms subside, but you're never really getting to root. Well, they're going to just keep on taking money away from you, right? So there is a good doctor on here. I want to put him out there. I think he is a genuine guy. Okay, so here's a guy that really helped this patient. His name is Jeff M. Basil, okay, Basile. And at the time, he was doing work with Duke University. Now over here, I did a quick research with him. He is now a doctor in South Carolina, I think in Charleston, somewhere in South Carolina. You guys can look it up. And you can just straight up ask him, listen, why don't people look more into internal parasites? I personally believe there's a lot of false negatives out there. So there are doctors out there that tell you, hey, go take these different tests to see if you have a parasite. But I think a lot of them come back false negative. And they want to keep it false negative. They don't want you to look into this very, very closely, okay? And you can always go for a second opinion, right? Because we do these tests in Asia, and I think they're far more accurate. The reason why I know these things are real is because before I went to the States, I think it was in first grade or second grade, everyone in the classroom had to do this test. You have to test your stools, okay, to see if you have any internal parasites. And that time, I was tested positive for pinworms. So they gave me Mebendazole, this product right here. This thing has over 40 years of history, okay? And I just don't think there's a lot of side effects with this, but double check. You know, you may be on different medications and they may have interactions with it, but I want you guys to look into these different products, get rid of your internal parasites, And there's so many other protocols you guys need to look into. For example, you guys got to look into how to clean up your liver, okay? Clean up your gallbladder, because most people don't even know how to clean this up. There may be a lot of gallstones in the gallbladder, and most people, they wait too late until they get a gallbladder attack. Now they are at the hospital, they're removing the whole thing. Well, if they remove the whole thing, how are you going to produce bile? You need bile to break down healthy fats so you can assimilate fat-soluble vitamins. In addition, later on, when you're ready, you can also clean out your kidneys, different detox teas that are out there to restore the functions of your kidneys. Because if you don't, they're either going to do surgery with you or they're going to put you on dialysis. Do you want that? I'm always thinking about practical pessimism. I always think, you know what? Just because my kidneys are acting fine now, I don't have any serious problems, it doesn't mean there's no room for improvement. Why don't I come from a place of, hey, there's always room for improvement in every organ of my body. I'm going to study them. I'm going to pick up these books on human physiology. I'm going to learn how these different arteries and veins are connected. I'm going to learn how my spleen works. I'm going to learn how my pancreas works. Here's another thing a lot of people overlook. There are different parasites that can attack the pancreas. All right? And since doctors, they don't look into the pancreas, they always say that, oh, the reason why you have diabetes is because you're insulin resistant. So you're going to be on some type of insulin medication for the rest of your life. What if you have different parasites that are attacking the pancreas right now? You can look up an article or paper titled Ascaris-induced pancreatitis. Ascaris-induced pancreatitis. So Ascaris, that is roundworms. They're causing the pancreatitis. They're eating up your pancreatic cells. Your pancreas is in such a terrible state, it cannot produce insulin, even if it wanted to. That's why we look into this early, okay? Before you're so far down the line where your organs are just shutting down. Because most people, they just push off all these early signs, problems. Maybe they get some slightly elevated high blood pressure, experiencing early signs of edema, swelling of the feet. If you're seeing something like this, okay, swelling of the feet, you have to recognize something is terribly wrong with your body right now. Your filtering organs are not filtering correctly. That would be your liver, your kidneys, and your spleen. All this fluid buildup is taking place in your life. A couple years ago, I'll tell you guys a story. I was going to the hospital. A friend of mine got into a motorcycle accident. So I was just there with her in the ICU. But while I was there, I was observing hundreds and hundreds of other patients just walking around through the ICU, right? And I saw so many people there with edema, swelling of the feet. It got so bad, they had a crack, okay? Pus was flowing out of the foot. It got so bad. And then nobody was really taking care of them, or there's just so many cases of this. I don't even know what they do to these people when they have that kind of situation. Obviously, there's fluid buildup. They might give them some type of diuretic. You know, they might do some type of drain out their fluids some way, somehow. Many of them could be on dialysis already, and maybe that is not even enough for them. Okay, so if you do not want to do surgeries, oh, thank you so much, brother. If you do not want to do surgeries on your kidneys, if you do not want to do on dialysis, or if you do not want to be on a transplant list for your kidneys, you know how many people are waiting for kidney transplants? So I want you guys at the presence of mind. I know sometimes this stuff can get dark when I share this, but I tell you guys, so hopefully you can take action early. If you're in your 20s right now and you're dealing with some slight form of chronic constipation, you're not going to the bathroom for 1 to 2 days in a row, you need to look at these different protocols. Okay? You got to clean everything out. Do whatever you need to do. So who's on this call? Thank you so much for jumping on the call. Somebody on my YouTube. Okay, I'm here to answer any of your questions. Just type them in. Don't be shy. All right. Today we went over so many different topics. We talked about how to clean out the small and large intestines. We talked about how people are struggling all over the world with chronic constipation. The title of this video is simply, listen, constipated, I pray this video finds you. I gave you a remedy at the beginning of the video, and I went through a lot of other useful information you guys got to go over again and again. And recovering your health, it is a process where you're taking ideas, insights from a collection of different sources. Now, some of the protocols are very, very effective, but over time, what has taught me over the years is that, hey, I can improve upon previous protocols, but I had to get proficient at one protocol first. To first clean out the small and large intestines, just to get my body back to normal. Then getting the parasites out of my body to have another upgrade. Then get the gallstones out of my gallbladder to have another upgrade. Then to learn there are things called intrahepatic stones that may be lodged in my liver right now, and even those could be flushed out of my body. The liver is like this. Most people, they start with a healthy liver, but over time, even without drinking alcohol, they're ending up with a fatty liver. Then over time, they don't take care of this, it becomes liver fibrosis. Then it gets really, really troubling because it becomes cirrhosis. It becomes the hardening of the liver. When people are in this stage right here, I'm not a doctor. All I can say is many of these people, they are dealing with edema, swelling of the feet. The blood is not filtering correctly. The human body has about 1.5 gallons of blood. The liver has to filter 24/7, 365. If you're not an athlete, just going about your day to day, it's filtering 250 gallons every single day. So the same blood just goes through the filter 250 times, or roughly around there. And nobody has really taught us how to clean out this organ. I'm telling y'all, it's not going to be easy. These protocols are not easy, but later on, when you guys are ready, I can teach you guys how to do this. But you have to first master this. This is where it begins. Cleaning out the small and large intestines, and later on, maybe in a few months, you really study out these internal parasites for yourself one by one. So you're not just listening to some random guy on the internet. You have to confirm this information for yourself. You have to be an autodidact. You have to learn, be a self-learner. Then you're going to learn about your internal organs one by one, beginning with the liver, because the liver filters a lot more blood than your kidneys. So you want to major on the majors, fix this one first. Okay? That's my thing. Then later on, downstream, then you start fixing your kidneys. There are products out there, there are books out there that explain different herbs that you can use. I've been starting to use them, and a lot of them, they're used for cooking. And I've been doing it for close to 2 months now. I haven't had any discomfort or, how do I say, any side effects from using these different herbs to clean out the kidneys. Also from Andreas Mortz. Andreas Mortz, he wrote the protocol for this. So you guys can look him up. He wrote a couple of books out there. He's the one that wrote the book on, I'll show you guys this book, the liver and gallbladder miracle cleanse, and all natural at-home flush to purify, rejuvenate your body. Now, the only difference I have between my protocol and his protocol is simply that when gallstones are first released, they're released in the duodenum, in the very beginning part of your small intestines. He recommends colonics, which I don't think will be enough because this gallstone's got to travel through 4.5 meters before it reaches your large intestines. So that's why a protocol like this is so key. If you do the liver cleanse protocol, then you have the confidence of flushing out all the gallstones from the small intestines. So that's what I want to share with y'all. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this call. If you have any questions, you guys can just leave them in the comments below. I'll get back to them. But also grab my program, okay? And you can also jump on a call with me. And you can just click on that to jump on a call. Or you can reach out to me on my Instagram. Reach out to me on Instagram. You can just text me, and we may get on a call first before we make any commitments to see if I can help you along the way, okay? So thanks everybody for joining me. Maybe you're not watching this video now, but I truly want you guys to recover your health, and the way that you do that is through detox, cleaning yourself from the inside. So have an amazing rest of your day, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments or in my message